To get the tweeter out, all you need to do is use a trim tool, a thin trim tool, get it underneath the grill, and it should pop out. Once you've got it out, you'll see it's plugged in there. I don't know if you can see that. You can use your thin trim tool and then get it into that gap and then give it a bit of a yank. And that's unplugged. To get the door card off, there's just one screw in there. It's a T20. Undo the screw, lift up and push to the end of the door, and there's a clip to undo the plug, and there's three other screws, two on the end. Two more underneath. And then you need to take this trim off. Now the door's held on by clips as well. Just give it a firm pull. And then just hit the door card up to release it. A lot of the clips will break, and you'll need to make sure you get replacements for the broken clips, or the door card could rattle. Okay, the tweeter is just a twist fit into the grill. All you need to do is twist it clockwise. There's some releasing catches down here. You get a little screwdriver in there, push that down, give it a bit of a twist, and then there'll be a second one on the other side. Give that a twist, and then it should just come out like that. And that's the tweeter itself, and then the grill. Here are all the bits you get with the Pioneer speakers. You can see the quality of the cone is a lot better than the OEM ones, and the tweeters are a little bit larger. You get some grills as well, but you won't need those installing them in the DS3. And then you've got the adapters. These adapters will clip into the OEM grills. You've got a bit of wiring as well. They're not very good. It might be worth just replacing the wires. It's going to be very thin. You can see there how thin it is. You get some screws as well with these fast clips. You won't be needing the fast clips in the DS3. And you've got some double-sided tape for these angled mounts. You also get some felt and a bit of sticky black sponge as well for the tweeters. Okay, you can see here, this is the original speaker out of the DS3. What tends to happen over time is the foam surround starts to break up with age, Also, these tiny magnets, they're not very good for reproducing base, and then the plastic casing as well, it's not very stiff. These are the Pioneers. You can see that the magnet's a lot bigger, so that'll help with control over the cone. And it's got a metal pressed gasket or case, and instead of the foam, it's got a butyl surround plastic cone as well, so it will resist the water in the door a lot better, and it'll be a bit stiffer. Here are the tweeters. Here's the original. On the back you can see the little capacitor that stops the low frequencies going to the tweeter and blowing it. This is the Pioneer one, so it's slightly larger, or the cone itself is slightly larger than the original DS3 ones. It's got some tabs on the bottom to connect to the wiring that they supply. Inside that wiring, in that heat shrink there'll be a capacitor to stop the low frequencies blowing the tweeters. Okay, we've got the OEM tweeter grill here, and the adapter. With the adapter you have this little locating bit, and if you look at the grill there'll be a cutout here where the Peugeot logo is. If you put the locator in the slot there, push it all the way down and then rotate it anti-clockwise, and then it all locks into place like that. All you need to do next is have your tweeter and push it into the locating place. Careful not to push it into the diaphragm. It just clips in like that. That's your tweeter ready to go. If you don't fancy cutting up your original wiring, you can get these speaker adapters. They're fairly cheap off eBay. They don't cost much and they save a lot of hassle if you're not very good at crimping and cutting wires. To get the woofers ready to go into the car, all you need to do is plug these in, one on each side. The positive's always the larger one, and the negative's the smaller one. When you push in, make sure you're pushing in the opposite direction and not to damage that. It's very easy to damage it if you just push in on one direction. And that's the woofer ready to go into the car, and just plug in. You also get an angle mount, and all you have to do is, with this, feed the wires through the hole in the back. And then the prongs fit in a certain part of the tweeter. There we go. And just twist the tweeter clockwise. Then you can mount that wherever you like. You might have to drill a hole in the plastic for the wires, and then you use the double-sided round pad on the back of the mount to stick it down. So if you don't mind them, the tweeters being on show, you could mount them on the actual grill pointing towards you there, we could actually put them in the corner or on the A-pillars. You'll probably get a bit better sound quality if you put them on the A-pillars like that, pointing to the centre of the car, than you would with them being in the grille and reflecting off the windscreen. But I'm not really a fan of it looking, of it being on show like that. I've already cut out the rear because I've got larger magnet speakers in mine already, but with the Pioneer ones, they should fit into the original plastic mounting without any issues. So you just plug your adapter in, and then the speakers should just fit straight in. Make sure you got all the lines, all the holes lined up. And then when putting the screws in, try and find the start of the thread. If you cross thread them, the plastic starts to break apart and you can't tighten them up properly. So these screws are T20s as well. So I've made an adapter that now goes onto the wiring, and it just plugs straight in to the factory loom. That's all you have to do, and then put the tweeters back in, and that's ready to go. This is the standard OEM speakers with 50 Hz test tone.